Welcome everyone to the first Weight Tutor podcast. I'm your host, Mike Paisley, and today we have a special guest with us, one of our amazing clients, Tara Busey. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm excited to be here. First time.
We're excited to have you. You're gonna crush it.
Yes, we are.
So Tara, I want to start and kind of talk through your fitness journey you've been on, and I want to start like back at the beginning, like before you even started the program. Like, what was life like? What were some of the things you were doing as it relates to your health and wellness?
Okay. Well, I joined a gym. I've always been part of a gym. I did a half marathon the year before. Just nothing was really working. I was a mom of 3 kids, and now they were adult children. So just thought it was time for something for myself, and I think it really was when I went to get a outfit for my daughter's graduation in college, May of 2023, and I had to go to the store to like find a new outfit, and it was like not good. It was like, how am I already in size? I've always been pretty fit and in shape, and so that was kind of the wake up call for me. I was like, this is not how I want to feel. I just wasn't happy. So that's where I kind of was in May, I think is actually when I first got a hold of you. But with my daughter graduating, and I was taking her to Texas and a lot of stuff about that summer, I ended up joining, I believe, in July of last year. So I just eating wise, I knew what I should eat, but I wasn't doing it. So just was not doing everything I should and being accountable to myself. I just was not. So that's when I contacted you. So.
Yeah. And how did you, I was looking that up for the notes, how did you hear about Weight Tutor initially?
Just strolling through Facebook, I think, or Instagram, one of them. I think it was Facebook because that's where I first contacted you. So it was just, I don't know, something just peeled. I've done a lot of different gyms here in Missoula. I've done the 6-week challenge, which I've done really well. I know what my body was like lifting it react, I really could my body reacts to that a lot better with losing weight. We're doing the half marathon, I just never didn't do anything, even though I ran a lot that whole training session. So I don't know, I was just looking through, I was like, oh, this seems interesting, and especially with the nutrition kind of part with it and the fitness. So that's when I was like, yeah, it can't hurt to even talk to them and see what it's all about. So that's when I reached out to you.
Yeah. I think we talked in May and then kind of kept in touch until you started in July of last year.
Yep.
Yeah, and what were some of, before you started the program, what were some of the biggest challenges you were facing?
Motivating myself to go do it. It's easier just to sit on the couch or go down to my friends and meet for drinks and, so I think just motivation. I was at a gym and I went a few days a week or whatever, but I didn't even like going to the gym because I didn't like what I looked like. Like you look at the mirrors and you're like, I don't even want to go out there, even though you're there to lose weight. It's just, so that was kind of where I was at. And being accountable to myself, I just was not pushing myself to work out every day. It's easier just to sit there. That's kind of where I was. So when you're feeling the way you are and don't enjoy the way you look like, there's no motivation there to start going. So jumpstart that and have someone tell me this is what you need to start doing like you do. So
and it is kind of a vicious cycle, right? Where, like you said, if you're going to a gym and you're working hard, but you're not seeing the fruits of your labor, and you're not, like you said, liking what you see in the mirror, it's reasonable to be like, why am I doing this?
Go in and
what's
do
the point?
a couple reps here and there, do some stair steps, walk for a while, and you're like, okay, well, that was good enough, I'm sure. I don't want to like what I look like, so I'm just gonna leave. So that was a big thing.
So walk me through, we're in July of last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so you had just signed up with us,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to come back to this, but some of the things you had said when you signed up for your goals were that you wanted to be healthier, you wanted to age well, and you had mentioned the mirror back then too,
Yeah.
like look at it, you know, when you saw yourself in front of the mirror. So that's amazing. I want to come back to those, so hold that thought. But just walk me through your first few weeks in the program. What was that like?
Yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking also, just coming into this new place. There were some original people, you know, some people, a few girls that were, you know, the women that were in the class, just trying to take everything in, learning everything. But I was willing, like when I decided to do it, I was gonna do it. Nothing turned me back. So yeah, the first couple weeks were tough. I was sore, and I was kind of shocked. I'm like, I guess I'm not in great shape, and this didn't happen overnight how I got here. So it's gonna take a while. And you know, and the group, the women that I came into this group were so welcoming and encouraging, and you know, you also, so that made the transition a lot easier.
Yeah.
It was fun.
When did you start to feel like kind of like you were one of the gang, or like you were part of the crew?
I mean, within a month or so, I mean, they all kind of, you know, we all cheer each other on and all encourage each other, and, you know, you find your way, and, you know, I don't know, everybody was just welcoming, and, because we're all here to do the same thing, we're all here on the same kind of journey, and that's what makes it so special. It's like, well, we're all about the same age, you know, so we're all going through those struggles. I guess, yeah, so that was within a month or so. I felt like I know what we're doing, the workouts, and trying to eat better. Not that I'm perfect at that at the beginning, but working on it. So, yeah.
And what clicked first for you? Because we do the exercise training and the nutrition coaching. Did one kind of happen sooner than the other, or what was that like?
Working out kind of clicks for me more. I mean, because I've been used to that kind of all my life, and doing some kind of workout, or, you know, half marathons or something. The eating part, I think, is still today, a year later. I mean, I'm not perfect at it, and I veer off sometimes. So, and tracking, like that, for some reason, has been one of the difficult things for me, is tracking, even though it's simple and easy. I don't know, it's just something that you take the time for yourself to put down. But I think tracking was definitely the hardest part. But seeing the results when we review things month to month to see what you ate helped out. Like, oh, this is beneficial to track, so I can see why I gained or why I lost, you know, where I could have gone things. So
yeah, that's the hard thing, right? Because it's like that new habit you have to add, and tracking what you eat on, you know, the MyFitnessPal app, and it's like a kind of a pain in the butt when you're doing it until you build a system. But then it like you said, it really comes in handy. Where if you have like a killer month and you see great results, you can be like, okay, what was I doing? So you can replicate that. Or if you had a month where things didn't move as much, you can kind of look back at, you know, what was going on in the last few weeks.
yeah.
What was the system? Because I think a lot of, you know, people initially and then throughout the program struggle with staying on track with tracking. Like, what's a system that you use that helps you?
I pre-plan, like I always prepare my lunches and stuff and my snacks. So at the beginning of the week, I just put in what I'm going to be eating all. Like it's usually the same lunch, or usually, and I got onto a real schedule of eating. So like, you know, 10 o'clock, I'm gonna have this snack first, and this is what I'm eating lunch, you know. So I knew how to get those protein in, you know, how to make it work. I just kind of scheduling the food into my day. So I think doing that on Sunday whenever I prepared my food, just having it in there. And MyFitnessPal, it really is easy to put in your food or put in a meal and be able to click it each time. Or have that in there so the next time you make it, you can add it in easily. So that was kind of the easiest way for me, scheduling my food when I eat.
Yeah.
So
pre-planning and then pre-scheduling. And when you started the program, you were like a pro at meal prepping,
I had done like those other fitness challenges, so I kind of knew about prepping, but I wasn't doing it when I joined the class. I mean, I think it might have been a little bit easier for me. Like, yeah, I know how to do it, but I wasn't doing it when I joined. So.
And what helped you kind of get started with meal prepping, and how did you approach meal prepping?
I just looked up different recipes that had a lot of protein in it, because that was like my main lunch was my main place where I was going to get most of my protein. So just looking up and kind of looking at different recipes, whether it was on the website or just something about, or I Google it or something, you know, to try different things to get the most I could in that lunch time, because I'm really bad. Still, after a year, still working on dinner time, which I've said before in the class, but dinners are really hard for me, so that's something that I've been working on throughout the whole program, is trying to prep my dinners. So, but lunch I knew I would get a lot of protein there.
Yeah, it's been awesome to see you grow, and just, you nail your breakfast and your lunch, and you pre-plan that, and you've made a lot of improvement on dinners. What about protein? Like, how was that? Because it's a pretty big difference, and kind of a shock when most people start the program and then they get their nutrition guide and see I have to eat how much protein.
Yeah.
And usually it's like 3 to 5 times what you're used to eating. Everyone's a little bit different, but walk me through how you were able to, start where you started and then increase to reaching your protein goal.
I think I just, slowly each month increased it a little bit to where my body would be getting used to it. And like I said, scheduling what I eat was a big thing, and figuring out snacks that were high in protein that I could eat throughout the day. But I think just the scheduling and it is a lot, but just writing it down and like you teach, like putting in MyFitnessPal so you know exactly how much you have left. I mean, if you don't know, then you don't know how to prepare that. And so just putting it in there for the week to know where you're at just helped a lot. And then just trying to increase it. I don't know how much I was eating before I started, probably not as close to what I was supposed to be. But I just planned it. It's just one of those things I knew you taught me, I knew I was going to do this plan, so this is kind of what I wanted to teach myself, and just how to increase and make it work.
Yeah. And when did things like click for you, or when did you have your first light bulb or aha moment in the program?
Probably was like looking at myself in the photo when it's my photo that I have here hanging on the wall back in December. So it was, I started in July, and that was, I think, December when that photo was taken, and just looking at it like, wow, okay, like it's, the numbers maybe not everywhere I want, but I'm down clothes sizes, I'm feeling so much better about myself, I can look at myself in the mirror now. So, yeah, I think it was just around that time where you just look at a photo and you're like, oh. Which I encourage people to do a photo at the beginning and throughout, and I have done just, every month since then. But it just makes a difference, even though that number's not moving. You're getting stronger, you're losing inches, and so that was, I think, when I was like, oh, okay, I'll keep up with this. I can do this. So.
Yeah. And you're super hard on yourself, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
But you, a lot of us are, right? And the number that we usually focus, like, how do I know if it's working or am I being successful, is like weight, right? That's the common thing we all have access to. And then you joined way before we got the InBody scanner, so we didn't have as much insider information. How, like, for someone who's really fixated or stuck on weight right now, what would you tell them how would you shift that, and how have you shifted that perspective?
It's hard. I think for us women, it's just about the number. I think I told you when I first started, I gave you a number. I haven't hit that number, but I feel more amazing. If I would have known like this, you know, the number felt this good, I would have said that number, you know? It's kind of weird because it's just, I think, you know, just focusing on just those things like those non-scale wins of close fitting, how are you feeling? It's hard, the number thing, but I mean, it's the clothes and how you feel. Like I went down 3 like sizes in clothes, you know, and it's amazing. Yeah. So, and that number is still not where I want it to be, but it's, I'm like, how did I know? But I've gained so much more strength too. Like that, just watching yourself increase in weight in the studio and just like seeing how much more I can lift now than I did back then is, yeah. Along with Mike's pushing me every single week.
So we have to talk about this.
Yeah.
So you started, and we do a movement assessment, and you started. You moved very well, and like you mentioned earlier, this isn't your first time working out, but you scored a 2, and this is out of 3 on your lunge, and you hit a PR probably about a month or so ago, maybe 6 weeks ago. So walk me through it, because you started, you were doing just like TRX band and body weight lunges. Now you hit a PR.
Yeah.
So walk through that progression.
I don't know. You're pushing me every week, and just like, and all the women in this class, it's like cheering you on, and like, you know, and I just push myself a little bit to increase every month, or as much as I could challenge myself to. And I think I'm a little competitive, even against myself. So I'm like, okay, sure, I can do that. And then you're like, well, why did I do this now? I'm at this weight and I don't go back. Like, I don't want to go backwards. So, but I think it's just, yeah, just pushing myself every month and having that idea that I'm here to get strong and this is what I want to do. Yeah, it's crazy to think that how much I've changed over a year.
Yeah, it is amazing.
I'm like now 53.
55.
Yeah.
Don't shortchange yourself.
After last night, I was like, oh, and then I mean, some nights I'm like, I don't want to do it. Like, oh, tired. I'm like, no, I'm not going back. I'm not going to go, you know. So I just, you know, I can do it. I know I can. I've done it. So it's just getting that mindset, positive mindset, and just some positive thinking. It's kind of like running a half marathon, doing all those miles. I don't even know how I started from point here to point B, but I did it. So.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something really important, like mindset, and just the growth you've had in the program, whether it was going through some adverse times and sticking with it, to just slowly increasing and pushing, you know, weight. Of course, we're going to push you, but like, you got to want it yourself, and you do. So how has your mindset shifted from when you started the program to now?
Oh, I mean, working out just does something to you. It's just like you come in here and you just like let it out and just work really hard, and it's just my positive attitude, you know, and just feeling better about yourself and confidence, you know. So that just in your whole life, it just kind of reflects. So it's just been amazing the last year how different I feel and confident. So
where have you noticed like the strength and the confidence show up, like outside of the studio?
I think even like personal life, meeting people or seeing people that I haven't seen in years, you know, before I'd be like, I don't want them to see me looking like this, you know, and I just have a confidence of like, yeah, you know, I feel good about myself.
Yeah.
And, you know, even in my job, like supervising people and feeling good and having that self-confidence just, I think, reflects. So, yeah, all around it just is amazing. And you come in here, even if you have a bad day or if I'm tired, I'm like, oh goodness, but you get here and you're just like, you know, you're gonna feel great afterwards and have a better attitude and feel better. So
yeah,
it's weird. Stuff that just release while working out. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing how it does flow over into other aspects of life, and I think part of that is just the hard right?
Mhm.
You can be proud and, you know, even if you're not where you want to be, look at the amazing progress you've made, look how close you are.
Yeah.
So I think it just says something like the work you put in, it gives you like, okay, I'm doing the things, right? I'm doing the things, I'm putting in the work, I'm seeing my results. So just, yeah, that's awesome. It's bleeding over to other areas of your life.
Yeah.
What have you learned in the program?
I think to give yourself grace also,
Mm-hmm.
because you're gonna have bad months, you're gonna have bad weeks, you're gonna have bad days. To give yourself grace, but also it's really taught me to stick with something, you know, like being persistent with something and sticking with it, tracking every day, coming to the workout 3 times a week, you know, just being really accountable to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been a great journey that I've kind of experienced this last, even working out and fitness, just like a personal journey too.
Mhm.
It's made me so much better.
Yeah,
So
you've worked hard.
I know it's been amazing. Now I can be like, yes, I did good, you know, like so it's just that confidence.
And I think it's hard, right? Like when you're in something, like when you're in it, you're in the trenches, you're doing it. We have this vision of like when we start something, oh, it's just gonna, we know this not to be true, but like, oh, I'm gonna start this program, it's all gonna take care of ourselves. And we hit that moment of like, oh, like, you know, this life event happened, or I'm tired, I don't want to eat healthy or work out. So what helped you when you hit those various points? What helped you like push through that and continue?
I think honestly, looking at the progress, like my picture. I mean, that's it. And even like I have to keep doing this for myself, and like even being healthier. I think touched on, you know, like if something happens when I'm getting older, like I want to be as strong as I can be if anything happens to me. You know, and that was one of the main things that a lot of people might have back issues or you know like that. Like I want to be strong in that area so that if anything does happen. So just knowing and just like my mindset is completely different than a year ago, so that helps. But yeah, I think just keeping pushing forward and knowing what your goal is, writing it down, seeing it, and then the progress that I've made. So yeah, definitely bad days, bad months, vacations, going places, but I really tried to focus on still working out when I did those things, and also just trying to eat as well as I could when I did those things when I couldn't be here, because I've learned so much, not what to do. So
You had mentioned earlier just about grace, giving yourself grace, and also knowing, we talked about this in the program, but progress, not perfection. So just knowing like, hey, is this the best? Am I eating the best on vacation? Probably not, but I'm doing way better being that I'm mindful and aware of it. I'm making better choices than I would have. And just letting water, you know, go under the bridge if we, like you said, have a bad day or week or month or whatever the case, just picking yourself back up. And you've done a great job with that, because it happens to all of us.
right. And I look at this as like something I can live with for the rest of my life. It's not like I'm strict to doing this, and this. Like I try to fit in what I, you know, even having a class minor, you know, something like that, just because this is my life, you know, and I need, you know, I'm gonna go out to dinner once in a while or something like that. So something I know I can go back, you know, come back to, and know how to eat right and work out. So it's something I can apply for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Which is important. It's not like a 6-week, here you go, you know, this is what you do to lose as much weight as you can and make those goals and lose as much inches. But overall, just a full plan that I can live with for the rest of my life.
That's awesome.
Which is key. So I did those 6 weeks before this, you know, and it was successful, but then go back to the way it was. So.
Well, that's awesome.
Yeah.
What, throughout this time, and you kind of talked a little bit about this, but if you you could expand on, like, what are some of the things you learned about yourself on this journey?
That I think that I can dedicate myself to something and keep with it and just, I don't know, I think I said it earlier, but now just blanking. I think just knowing to stick with it and, you know, that I can overcome a lot of things and the positive attitude. And I think just changing that positive attitude is just key for me. Mindset. If you come in here with a bad, you know, day and everything, and you just keep that going through the workout, you're probably not, you know, it's not gonna go great. But if you just like, okay, I'm here, and I'm gonna focus on this. This is how I'm gonna feel great. You know, that changes everything. So I think just the positive attitude within the last year has changed.
Yeah, and it's been cool to be just on the sidelines watching you grow and adopting that mindset and lifestyle, and giving yourself more grace, and just being excited about the process. Where, because I know when you started, you were excited to start, but like we talked about at the beginning, it was just you're kind of spinning your tires for a little while, and it's been awesome to see you get traction and get so close to your goal.
I think when I started also, you get into that, I'm 40, I'm never gonna be able to lose weight. Like, it's just pretty much, you know, that's the whole thing. Like, that's how I was. I was like, I'm gonna go to the doctor, they're gonna give me pills or something, you know, like, and then just working. I'm like, no, it was because I wasn't eating correctly, you know, for the most part, not eating correctly and not working out. Like, there's more to it. And it's hard. It's hard to dedicate 3 days a week and your food, you know, but it definitely changes your life and how you feel. And I'm like, okay, it wasn't. Because I even think when I talked to you, I was like, what if it just never comes off? What is just like, what if I don't lose it? What if I just something's wrong with me? I think I said that to you actually at our first stage, and you're like, just follow the play. It will. Trust me, you know. Just you gotta start it, and it'll happen. So, and I did. So, I think a lot of women our age have that mindset that it's not impossible.
Yeah.
It's not.
I appreciate you saying that, and I remember that conversation.
I did.
We discussed it there. But it's so true, and that's one of, and I really appreciate you coming on the podcast, and one of the reasons we wanted to start a podcast, because there are so many women that are out there thinking, like, is there something wrong with me? Like, I've tried, you know, this challenge, this workout routine, this diet, and it worked a little bit, but I just can't stick with it. And then we start to like believe that. And so one of my goals is just to help show people through like your hard work and your success that this is possible, right? And just shifting those beliefs and shifting that mindset is step one, a key part of that.
Yeah.
So I want to walk through, so just a couple of stats for you. So you started July 17th, 2023. You got, since then you've done 137 workouts.
I did not know that stat, but that's interesting.
So that's amazing, and that's obviously just your weight tutor workouts. That's not counting the things you're doing, you know, outside of the studio. But 137 strength training workouts. You come here 3 days a week. Your goals when you started were to be healthier, age well, and to look good in the mirror. And you started out, you were 180 pounds and 35% body fat. And now you are at 160 pounds and 26% body fat. So you're 6 pounds away and 1% away from reaching your goal. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. Like I said, if I knew 160 felt like this,
Uh-huh.
I would have said 160. You know, but that's what I'm just saying. Like, I'm so much stronger. I mean, it's just kind of numbers, but I'm like, wait, like, I actually have muscles and strength. Like, you can see them. So that makes me feel good, you know, and that's kind of where I focus on. And so,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I know we have just a little bit to go for
Yeah.
reaching like your ultimate goal, but you're so close. You've done an absolutely amazing job. I want to talk about like the goals of like healthier age well and looking in the mirror. Do you feel like you've reached those goals and are where you want to be?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've hit all of them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, even you look in the picture, before was at my daughter's graduation in May of 2023. I mean, just like your face, my face was like puffy and like not, you know, now it's thinner and, you know, not so, so yeah, I mean, just, I think I've hit all three of those. I love what I look like in the mirror and what I'm wearing now makes me comfortable. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, I'm down, I think, started in a size 12 and now I'm 6 to 8 depending on clothes, but yeah, so that's huge for me.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
Threw all those clothes away.
Yes.
Everything's gone.
Not going
Not
back.
going back. So yeah, it's huge.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And what would be some of your words of wisdom for someone just starting out in the program?
Just stick with it. Just believe in the coaches. All of you guys are great. Just work the program. It'll, take before and after pictures, even though it's hard in the beginning to look at those pictures. Take them monthly when you get those weights, and you'll see the progress. And just stick with it, and it works. Okay. If I can do it, you can do it. It's been tough, but it's been amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's been, we've appreciated, just thank you so much for the hard work you put in, because it doesn't happen by accident, right? We provide, the tools and the space, but you still have to show up and do your workouts.
Yeah.
So you've done an amazing job.
And I'm working on we're doing something on the off days. I mean, trying to walk and do stuff on the other off days is important too.
Mm-hmm.
That I found.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, what's next for you? What's next for Tara? You're, a month or two away maybe from reaching your ultimate goal. How are you going to keep this momentum going? What's next for you?
Probably join a gym, which I feel comfortable now because I look great now in the mirror. So probably do that. Just keep on my routine of eating that I've learned through here, and just keep I think there's a couple of us that are in the class that even afterwards I think we'll still meet and work out possibly, and just keep that time that I worked out here to when I could go to the gym. So that I've been doing it for a year, so there's no reason why I can't continue doing it at the same time. So I think just keep on going. I'm not changing anything. I'm not going back to that before pictures. So, but I think it's just all the women in here that I've met. We'll keep in touch. We'll encourage each other. That's the best part. We're all still in it. So yeah.
Well, we're excited to throw you your graduation party. So that'll be fun, and truly just appreciate you being in the program, sticking with it, just working hard. Just a testament to your, how much you've grown and the progress you've made. So thank you.
Thank you, and all the coaches here are amazing. You guys have been great. I've worked with mostly mine, but all of them are great.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for
Having
coming
me
on
on
the
the
podcast. The first Weight Tutor podcast.
Great.
Thanks for coming on, Tara.
Yeah, thank you.
Nailed it.
Yeah.